Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to our New Zealand event tonight. So it's tonight we're really just a group of lovely ladies that have created a really good lifestyle for ourselves. Some of us have decided to have walked away from our day jobs, and some haven't, but some are pretty close to it. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to share our stories and tell you a little bit about how we actually have created the lifestyle that we have. So I'm Tanya, and I've been in the business for about 11 months now, and my story is pretty much, well, it's really started with the product. So I was really unwell, so I've been unwell for about 4 years with autoimmune disorders. I was pretty close to being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and I had adrenal fatigue. I was pretty much like a zombie, so it was really hard for me to get through my everyday without falling asleep on the couch. So by the time I got to 6 o'clock at night, if I hadn't fallen asleep, I was pretty much ready for bed. So for me, I watched my lovely friend get better when she was sick and on this product, and so I reached out and asked her about it, and after a couple of days on it, my energy was amazing, and by week 2, the chronic pain that I was experiencing every day had gone. So I was pretty impressed, and I was so impressed that after day 4 I decided to jump into the business. And it was mostly because my situation, my work situation at the time was pretty bad. I was pretty unhappy. I felt like I couldn't help people the way I wanted to. And I also felt like I was at the time of my life where I was not going to get anywhere financially, and wanted to actually create more freedom and more of a lifestyle for myself and for my husband going forward. So this business has pretty much created that for me. It's made a huge impact on my life and my husband's life in terms of my health and also our finances. So I have a lot to be grateful for with this business. So without further ado, what is wonderful about one of the things that's wonderful about this business is our fantastic product. And so I'm going to pass you over to Pauline, and Pauline is going to tell you about our fantastic program and our wonderful product. So I'm just going to unmute you, Pauline.
Nothing like being thrown in the deep end, huh?
You can do it, sweetheart.
Okay, so just like Tanya, I've been with the business. I'm in the business as well, but I've only been in it for 4 months. So I was pretty much the same. I joined the business first and then got on the product, but I'm so glad I did. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about this amazing product that we've got here. And it's had a massive impact on my life in just a short time, and it's played an important part in my health. And like I said, I've only been on it for 4 months, and I started noticing a huge difference within a week. Now, like everybody, I was skeptical, but I did some research and I asked questions, and I decided to dive in first. So I joined the business and then I bought the product. So right now I'm in love with both sides of the aspect. So I've always eaten pretty well, but I don't think I've ever could say that I've taken my daily intake of fruit and veggies, and I'm sure a lot of us are the same in that area. So when I got introduced to these, I just thought it was a godsend. So this is our product. So I'm going to show you what we've got here. So can everybody see? Please? Everybody see?
Yes.
So as you can see on the back, it's a label, and it shows you exactly what's in the container, just as you would find a food label on the back of, that's real food. So it shows you exactly what's in there. So for instance, these are our berries. So, you know, on the back of it, it tells you what berries are in it. There's nothing else in there. It's just whole food. So we've got no nasty chemicals, etc. in there. And this isn't a supplement pill. It's a scrumptious whole food in a tablet form. And all we're doing is bridging a gap with wholesome nutrition while still eating our daily meals. So, you know, we still have to eat, but this is just helping get that extra intake that we need. And our health is important, and we're lucky to be able to have these to add the extra nutrients and goodness to our bodies. So we are healing from the inside out, which is pretty great. So I have got this all written down on paper because, you know, I had to do a bit of research today. So Juice Plus has been around for 40 years, which is really amazing, but it's also a product that has never been recalled. So that's an amazing effort on its own. And so what they've done is they've taken real food like the apple, berries and the vegetables, everything that our bodies need, and they cold press it and they keep everything intact. So we still have the skin, the core, the seeds, the peelings, you know, all of that sort of stuff goes into there, and they condense it and extract the water and a little bit of the fibre out and leave you with the live enzymes. So it's amazing. I mean, I can't talk about it enough. Juice Plus is a whole foods company, and what's great about this is they are backed by TGA. So every single capsule that is in here is a real food. It's not a supplement. So we are getting all the goodness, and if you went into a chemist and went to the supplement section, you will find that most of them, if not all of them, have stuff that's made from synthetic. It's all made in a lab. It's not derived from real food, and our body doesn't recognize it. It doesn't know what to do with it. So that's why you notice when you take supplements and you go to the toilet and your pee is yellow. It's because your body doesn't recognize what is in it, so it takes what it needs and it flushes the rest out. And of course our bodies do need minerals and vitamins and the finer chemicals to work, but it all comes from real food, such as, you know, your fruit, veggies and berries. And we don't get enough quota a day. I'll be lucky if anybody gets their full quota a day, but, you know, there could be the odd one out there. So just so you know, this is what our capsules look like. So they're just little pills, and even the outer shell is made with plants. So it's all natural, and there's no chemicals, no artificial flavoring, no pesticides. It's just enzymes of live food. And what's great about this is our bodies recognize it straight away. So we don't have that yellow pee. It just absorbs into our system within, you know, 3 to 5 minutes. But what it is a meal replacement. So Juice Plus take it really seriously, that they do not endorse these as a food supplement, and we do not encourage you to ignore eating real food, because our bodies thrive on fruit, veggies, berries and a clean protein. Now, being a part of this program also gives us access to a really cool program which is called the Juice Body Transformation. And this program shows us how to eat healthy. It gives us weight loss programs. It has heaps of delicious recipes in there, shopping, and the most important thing is online support. So you always have someone there to talk to. And the good thing about it is it's a lifetime access. So once you're in it for life. And the other thing that I love about Juice Plus is that it has its own child's health study, which is really great if you are a mum, like I'm a mum, although my babies have all grown up just about. But they offer a deal where it's if you buy as an adult product, you get Children Eat Free. So they are in a chewable form. Now, I can't show you those, so if someone else wants to, because I don't have any little kiddies, so I don't have the chewables. But they are in a lolly form, so if anyone after this wants to show what the chews are like. And they are soft lollies, so they're they're easy for a child to chew. They have exactly what we have in our product. It's just that they are in a lolly. And the greatest thing about this is it goes up to the age of 18, and there's not many companies out there that class children at the age of 18 as a child. There's normally a cut-off. So I really like the idea that you can get free product for your children right up until they're 18. Now we also have our amazing shakes. So we've got vanilla and chocolate, and these are just yummy as. You know, on the run, good for on the run if you're in a hurry, you know, and you haven't got time to have your breakfast. They also, you know, you can have them on their own just as a shake, good for the kids, you know, pregnant mummies, all those sort of things. But, you know, you can add your favourites of fruits and veggies and make a delicious smoothie with them as well. And the last thing, which is the wonderful Omegas, and I love these. As Tanya stated, she had an immune disorder, which I have as well. And I do take every single product, but I know that the most important one that I do take is the Omegas. And that is because I do suffer really bad arthritis as well. And I have Sjogren's, which causes dry skin and dry eyes. So this helps in those areas. And, of course, your brain fog. And, you know, it reduces inflammation, it regulates heartbeat, improves your memory. Well, you know, when we get older, we could all do with that. Might have to double on that. And the best thing about it is it doesn't have that horrible fish smell, which if anyone has taken fish oil, you know, it's like gagging. So they go straight to the algae on this, and it's good for people who are allergic to fish or don't like that smell, you know. So you're getting the benefits. So it's vegan. It's a vegan plant-based product. So, you know, it's 100% vegan plant-based. Yeah, so that's our product and our program. And have I missed anything out in all of that?
You've done a fabulous job, sweetheart. It was great.
So, yeah, so if anyone's got the trees and wants to show anybody the trees, but, yeah, so, no, it's a great place to be. I certainly loved it. So, yeah, get on board.
Great. Thank you for your story, Pauline. I actually really like your story, your product story.
Oh,
how well you got, how quickly.
I'm amazed too. Like, I'm 4 months in now, and I've just had my second lot of blood, so I'm now down to a third of the tablets I used to take, and I'm pain-free, which is amazing. I mean, I haven't been pain-free in 10 years. So, yeah, it's just amazing what it's done for me, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. So, yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that, Pauline. That was fantastic for your first time. You did wonderfully, like I knew you would.
Good old paperwork, eh? Complete
faith in you, honey. I'm just going to mute you. Okay, if I can just figure this out. So thanks for sharing, Pauline. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, obviously, you know, this product is backed by research, but you know, we all have our own stories, and everybody's story is different. So every person that has different health issues will respond to the nutrients in a different way. So the nutrients will go to the body to wherever it's needed in each person's body, depending on what their health concerns are. So I'm just going to pass you over to Carolyn, and she's going to tell us her lovely product story.
Hey guys. Me and my family have been on this product for I think 3 months, since April. There you go, do the calculation. But it is amazing. Before I got introduced to Juice Plus, me and my husband were struggling with our 3-year-old because she wouldn't eat anything unless it was cake. or anything sweet. I don't know if you all got, got kids, but yeah, my 3-year-old wouldn't eat veggies. She would just have broccoli. So we were struggling. Like, we would spend probably like $200 at a health shop, just to find stuff that she could take. But when I heard about Juice Plus, like anything fruit and veggie, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Like, give it to me. So when Stacey told me about it, I watched the link, and I was like, I'm buying this because this is what we've been needing in our family for such a long time. So it's helped with my child's eczema, which we struggled with. It also helped myself with hormone imbalance, because being on birth control, everything goes haywire. Probably all know that one. But it also helped with my moods, because I was always grumpy. But having those micronutrients and all that goodness from all the fruit and veggies and those capsules, after 3 weeks of being on it, I was like, wow, it does work. And then I had a week from not taking it, and I was literally back to square one. So if people say this doesn't work, trust me, it does. My story, it does. I also, like, growing up, fruit and veggies was always something that was hammered into me. So when I heard about the 30 fruit and veggies in a capsule, because working full time, I always needed that boost. So it was good to be able to, if you eat crap, at least you're getting your intake daily. But yeah, that's my story. Probably there's much better stories, but that's mine.
Thank you, Caroline. That was a lovely story, darling. I like how it's helped your whole family.
It has. It's our lifetime.
Especially the fruit and veggie story about your children not getting enough, because I certainly noticed the same thing with my teenagers, that they actually, their sugar cravings disappeared and they wanted to eat more fruit and veg. And I know for teenagers and even children that often it's really hard to get fruit and veggies into them. So
yeah, for water too.
yeah. So thank you for sharing, honey. I'm just going to mute you. So I mean, our product is amazing and our program is fantastic, and there is absolutely no denying that. But behind this amazing product and program is actually a really fair and smart business model. So, and for a lot of us and I know for myself in particular, as soon as I saw the business model, I thought, right, that just suits me 100%. It's a way for me to actually live the life that I want, and to be able to set myself up in terms of retirement, and to be able to have the travel that I want. So I was actually able to leave my day job after 4 months of being in this business, because I saw this as a better way to spend my time, and also as a way to actually get myself in a better situation long term. So I'm going to pass you over to Maxine now, and Maxine's going to tell us about our smart business model and how it works, and she's also going to throw a few myths out the door. So, because I know that there's skepticism around it. I know there certainly was for myself when I jumped in. So floor's all yours, Maxine.
Hi everyone. So when Tanya first introduced me to the business, I was very skeptical. I had grown up as a young woman in the 80s and 90s, and I didn't have a good opinion of direct marketing businesses. And but because I knew that Tanya had complete integrity and was a very good friend of mine, I decided to put my prejudices aside and have a bit of a better look at it. And what I came to see was that the Juice Plus business model was a much fairer and more ethical model than the standard business model that most of us work in. So I use my own example. My background is as a registered nurse. So what happened when I was working in a hospital or a rest home, any kind of typical corporation, top-down corporation. Just have to get my piece of paper. Is this going to be all right? And let me know if you can't see it. So the standard corporation basically looks something like this. Can you see that? Is that all right? Yep, okay. I can't see it very well on my own picture. So as a nurse, I would be down here at the bottom and not really having very much flexibility on my pay. I might have there might be a small graduation and pay scale depending on my years of experience, but very little room to move financially. In order to earn more money, I would have to try and get myself up to a managerial level, a higher level. In order to do that, I would have to invest in further training, get further qualifications at my own time and expense, and that would increase as I went up here. More qualifications, more training, more cost to me, just to be able to actually apply for a higher position. So the other thing about moving up here is that you're finding that the numbers of positions available are more and more limited. So by the time you get up here, really, there's only one or two of you at the top. So that's a very competitive environment. The other thing that happens as you go up is what you tend to find is that your quality of life will tend to become worse as you go up. You'll be having more time on the job, less time, less sort of life quality and work-life balance. By the time you come up to the top here, you're probably not going to have very much of a life at all, and more responsibility. So although you're getting more money, there's quite a high cost to that in terms of your own personal life. The other thing that I have seen here as well is that quite often a company like this will restructure, so you may find yourself moving down a level in the structure. I've also had my own friends have also been in quite high positions where they've been restructured right out of the company and found themselves looking for a job in their 50s with a mortgage and a family to support. And that is a very insecure business model. The other thing I also think about this business model, which is probably one of the biggest problems for me, is at the bottom level, you can't necessarily, a lot of people in our community can't even necessarily get in at the bottom level. So it excludes a lot of people in our community, like the disabled, people who perhaps have a chronic illness and don't always feel able to work all the time and need a lot of flexibility with when they can work, mothers, people with responsibilities for elderly relatives, that kind of thing. All of these people find it very difficult to even work within this business model. So quite a lot of problems with that. So when I looked at the Juice Plus business model, I could see that it looked more like this. So what's immediately really good about this business model is that anybody can get in here. So immediately we've got a very inclusive business model, a system where all of the people I just talked about that can't necessarily even find their way into a traditional business are now on an equal footing with everybody else. So then what happens is you can move up to higher levels, and that's all completely based on your own willingness to learn and your own work and how much time and work you put in. So it's all, you're paid on what you do, which I think is great. So also within this Juice Plus system, the thing I really liked is that in order to advance, you get a lot of free training. A lot of the training that we get completely free is being offered on webinars on the internet for quite a lot of money. So I feel that I can advance in this system, and I don't even have to pay out of my own pocket for that training. So I really like that aspect of it. The other thing as we move up in this system is that there's an unlimited number of positions as we go up. So we're not competing with anybody. Anybody can go as high as they like, depending on how much they're willing to work. The other thing that we see in this system is that as you go higher, you tend to have more time freedom and more work-life balance the higher you go. So it's the opposite to the other system, the traditional system. So I think this is also it's a lot more secure. So we have the NMD at the top, BF at the bottom. So the other thing I was going to talk about is the ABC, which is quite a good way to describe how you can work in this model. So if you come in at the bottom, a lot of people may just get a couple of customers so that they can have a free product, and some people will decide to stay there. B is where they might put in a little bit more work, get a few more people on board, maybe look at making $500 to $1,000 a month, and then they've got a payment that they can make, a car payment, a mortgage payment, the children's camps. They can pay for certain bigger things that they wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise. So C is also the other place that you can take it is you can actually turn it into a full-time income and make it your plan A and replace your regular job. So this business model gives you the flexibility to go earn as much as you want or as little as you want, and work according to how much time you have available. So I think personally found that it was a much fairer system. Okay, so that's me.
Thank you, Maxine. Thank you for sharing that. That was great. Yeah, and that's what I loved actually about this business, is that it was fair for everybody, that there was no competition, that it gave everyone an equal opportunity to get where they needed to get and where they wanted to get, and it was completely up to them. So you're not limited to anything. You can take the business to at any level that you want to. I think Rachel's having a few problems with her internet. Doesn't look like she's on. Stace, do you want to do popcorn, honey, or would you like me to? I'm happy to, because it seems that Rachel's disappeared.
Either other, I don't mind.
Okay, well, if you'd like to do that, and if you can, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Sorry for throwing you in the deep end, but Rachel's been messaging me saying that she keeps dropping off. So
Yeah, I was too. I don't know why, but I swapped to my phone instead of the laptop, and it seems to be working.
Okay, great. Well, the floor's all yours, honey. Thank you. Yeah, so So Stacey's just going to talk about how we share this wonderful business. So thank you.
That's all right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Hi, everyone, for jumping on. So a lot of people, when they come in, I know I kind of did as well, worry about how you're going to be able to make it big enough so you can make a residual income. And how you do it is, it's called a popcorn effect. So you start off, so here's you. And then all it takes is to sort of know like two people. So I know Carolyn, and then I met Ash. So Carolyn's like a good friend, and then Ash I met online, and then he knows his mum who wants to join, and then he has a friend, and then Carolyn knows, oh my gosh, can't remember his name, Doris, and then her other friend Na, and then they know other people, and then as you can see, it just keeps on popping out. And then I meet more people, and then they know people. So as you can see, if you can see, very blurry, that ends up just popping out by meeting new people online, and then they tell people, and your team will just grow massively. And then over time, you'll end up having lots of people in your team, and then you can go on retreats as well and make a residual income, or whatever your goals are. Everyone has different goals in this journey. So that's what I love about it. You can work as hard as you want or as little as you want to achieve where you want to go. So yeah, that's kind of how the popcorn effect works. I know one or two people, and then they spread the word, and your team just builds that way.
Great, thanks, honey. Yeah. Do you want to just share your business story too?
Oh yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I found a post online, and it was about working online, and I kind of reached out, but then I avoided my upline for about 5 months because I was too scared. And then I finally said yes, and I watched the link, and it just made sense. The product in itself made sense to me because I love like holistic ways of healing. So for me, that was a no-brainer. To be able to be in charge of my own time with kids and stuff like that, that was a big thing. Being able to make as much money as I want to, like, it sucks getting minimum wage. Like, who wants to earn that much? I'm worth more than $16 an hour. What are the other things? You can work anywhere. I like the idea of being able to help other people. I've always, like, I remember even like writing CVs and stuff like that. That was something that I would always write, but I didn't know how to, I don't know, put it into action. So for me, being able to help people with their health, I just thought that from the start, if I could help one person, you know, that would make me feel so good. But there's been obviously way more than that. Helping my own family with their health has been really awesome. Helping my teammate, you know, even if we're only getting like $60 like a month, or, you know, when we're first starting, like, that was just awesome. That $60 we never had from the start. What else? So for me, I've kind of been getting clearer, or getting clearer on what I want the business to mean. So for me, we never really had a lot of money growing up as well, or we didn't really have a lot of things that we want or needed. So for me, I believe that your diet is a big one, and I want to show people how to, like, I like cooking and stuff like that, so I want to show people you can cook real wholesome food at affordable prices and grow your own fruits and veggies and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm heading, is helping families realize that and helping the next generation make better choices. yeah, so I want to be able to, hopefully within the year is my goal, to be able to be free from my other jobs, because I work 3 jobs. So I want to be able to be at home with my kids, or, you know, pick them up and drop them off at school, because I hate having to drop them off at someone else's house and they do that stuff. Like, that's my job. I should be doing that. So yeah, that's my story.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacey. That's
That's
a lovely
okay.
story. I really like that. It's great that it helps your family too, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I was a bit distracted. So yeah, so this is a really fabulous business that it can help people in so many different ways, and everyone comes into this for a different reason. We pretty much are very similar, though. Most of us want to help others, and we all also want to help our own financial situation. So that's really cool, learning all about the blowing some myths out of the water and learning about how we share this fabulous business. But now we all want to know how to get paid. That's the most exciting bit, I reckon. So I'm going to pass you over to Shannon, and she's going to tell you all how we get paid in this business. Thanks, Shannon.
Hey, body. Yeah, I think it's the most exciting part for sure. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit on what Maxine was talking about in regards to, in this business it's so different because we get to kind of set the bar in terms of what we want to be paid. You know, any other job, you're on a certain hourly rate that they think you're worth, whereas you come into a business like this and you get to decide how hard you work and what you want to bring in. And so I think that that's just pretty exciting and also really motivating. You can see it, you can see all the hard work paying off. You can see that the income slowly starts to get bigger and bigger each month, and that's kind of really exciting. So what I'm going to touch on is that we actually get paid 3 ways, which is pretty epic. So the first kind is retail profit. So when I talk about retail profit, that is just like a product itself. So it's just sharing. So say you're on the product and you know, your skin's starting to clear up, you're starting to get more energy, you go and drop your kids off at daycare and, you know, the ladies notice and they're like, you know, what's going on? And you just share what the product is and kind of get people on it that way. And then obviously they pay you to share. So same like if you went, say, to a good movie or a restaurant and you really loved it, you would say take a food porn photo and put it on Instagram. That's sharing it. That's a whole lot of advertising for that restaurant, but you're not getting paid for it. So it's just a really cool way to share and get paid at the same time. So the other type is your commission and kind of like what Stacey was talking about in terms of residual income. And I won't go on that too much right now because it'll kind of blow your mind, but that's kind of the epic part, is that you start to get residual income and get a really good pay packet without having to do a shit ton of work. You're not having to do the 9-to-5 grind every day, which is really cool. And then the real exciting one, which is a fave, is bonuses. Bonuses are always fun. And I'm kind of just going to share a few. Actually, I'll go through them all so you can just kind of see. I'm not going to go through what the actual levels are because you won't know what I'm talking about. But we kind of all come in as VFs. And then our first promotion, which you can get in your first 10 days, so you can get this awesome $100 bonus within your first 10 days. So that's pretty exciting. And then the next one is SDVF. And you get a $400 bonus. Like that's like, I could buy some pretty cool shoes, bags, get my nails done. The other cool thing about the business is that when you start getting to past VF and you get to SDVF, the person who's holding your hand and is teaching you all of this stuff, they also get that bonus. So that's the company just saying, thank you so much. You're teaching people, you're working hard. I'm going to give you that bonus too. And then our next one is SC, and that's $600. And then your teacher gets that too. And then SSC, it's all pretty exciting. Imagine that, like, that's such a good, I don't know, like, any other place that you get this, so many bonuses in such a short amount of time. And then you got Q. And then your teacher gets that too. You guys can go out and celebrate together. And then your pinnacle one is your NMD, which you're at the top and you're earning like massive amount of this by then. And you get a $3,000 bonus. Your teacher doesn't need that by now because they're probably already at this anyway. So yeah, they're getting a decent amount of pay packets, so they don't really need the bonus. But it just kind of shows you these figures is only one way that we get paid. So it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of money in it. You just got to do the work, and I wouldn't even call it work. It's fun. Like this kind of thing that we're doing now is just like getting together, and I get to do this every week and just hang out with these beautiful ladies and chat and share. And it's kind of just really cool and fun. So I'll pass you back over to Tans.
Thank you, lovely. So nice seeing your face. I miss your face. I got to hang out with this beautiful lady in Perth on conference, and it was so much fun. So nice. So thank you for sharing. Now, if you're kind of sitting there and you're thinking, oh, yeah, this is kind of cool, and, I'd like to give this a go, but you've got some questions, reach out to the person that invited you or that has sent this event to you, because it's really important that you get your questions answered. And I know that, when I first started, I sort of jumped in with both feet, but that's, what I tend to do. And I know that it's normal for most people to actually be a little bit afraid, a little bit, there's often a little bit of fear around there. You're a bit nervous. You don't know really what it's going to look like and whether it's going to work for you. And if that's how you're feeling at the moment, then definitely ask questions, because you will realize that most of us feel the same way when we first get into the business or even before we get in. So, and if you're there and you're thinking that, oh, this is not for me, then that's fine. But you might know somebody that might need some help in that situation, that might need to have a little bit of extra income into their household that would really help them. So reach out to them and just ask them if they'd be keen, or let the person know that invited you or said this to you know as well. So thank you all for coming, and just get your questions answered, and we'll see you all again.